Hey, from the bush to Oprah to Big Brother to beyond, Farmer Dave joins us in studio now to share with us his life after fame. Dave Graham, how do you do?
I'm awesome. This is crazy cool. Hanging out with you for years and years and years doing the ag show circuit. I went to school with Ali Douglas.
Can you believe
and
it?
of course, Marty, I've done hundreds of interviews with him with Queensland Country Life and everything. So this is just great.
It's pretty cool.
Turn up with my hat, my dog.
Well, your dog,
brought
Jimmy
everything.
Choo.
This is Jimmy Choo.
Hey, he's well behaved, isn't he?
He's pretty good, either that or he's 14 years of age and couldn't be buggered to do anything. However, there is another little dog down the end of the table who is brand new to our crew. And she cray-cray, so it was your idea of putting the dogs on the table. I'm just going to, if anything goes wrong, Lindsay's to blame.
Look, Matilda has no regard for television. She is just making herself very, very comfortable here. But luckily, we have Joseph and Lincoln looking after Matilda today, and I think she does need two handlers, given her reputation. Can we talk about your story first? You're a Western Queensland boy.
Yeah, from down in Gundawindi, and went to Toowoomba Prep with Ali, and then on to grammar, and did my Jackaroo ship down in the Victorian Mallee, and then on our places right out to Mitchell, St George, and the home block at Gundawindi. And I kind of, at 19, did what some young people tend to do, flogged a car and went to the big smoke. It was a little bit naughty, and then anyway, I got picked up by a modelling agency and ended up in Europe.
Not with that mug?
Not with this,
Were you a hand model?
No, a hand model, yeah. Life's been rough to me, you know, the last 20 years.
You're an Adonis. Now, you went to Paris, went all around the world, came back to Australia. Huge fame with Big Brother.
Yeah, and in between all of that, did a whole paddock to plate thing with Dorpers when Dorpers were not popular, and when I first sent my
in the beef world, shedding sheep.
Shedding sheep, yes, they're the little cow. They're the little cow of the sheep world. No wool or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, 20 odd years ago, Dorpers, they weren't known. Took them to their sale yards and got offered $26 a head. And you've got all these crossbreds there that were half the weight, half the quality, and I thought, bugger this. So then I ended up doing a paddock to plate thing, ended up with a whole heap of butcher shops and did about 55 farmers markets and supplied 20 odd different top restaurants. So that's kind of what I did in the meantime. But for the last 5 years, I've been working with the incredible young people that a lot of people point the finger at and go, someone should do something about that, and three fingers always point back at yourself, so that's what I've been doing.
So you've been working with wonderful young kids and giving them a real chance to get to know themselves better, get to take on some responsibility. What role do dogs play in all of that?
Oh, look, dogs are the connectors. You know, there's a few things that young people absolutely need. They need a sense of belonging, connection, and dogs do that. Of course, they need mastery, and that is taking on skills. And once they have the power of skills, they get less and less angry. So, and then of course, generosity, the idea of giving back. You get when you give. And so that's kind of where the dogs open up a lot of the conversations that we can have, but also the conversations around being kind. You know, if you're kind to an animal, they're going to be a lot better for you, and then you can start to talk without words, and then you can read body language. And sometimes when you can be much, much kinder to dogs, you can be much kinder to humans. And of course, dogs give you love back in spades. And look at your face right now.
No.
I mean, you can't feel anything but joy when you see a dog.
Me the way you are.
And he's a ranger too, you know.
Oh my God, have I just cheated on my fiance? Because there was tongue in that. Joseph and Lincoln, you've got to tell me, you are up here as entertainers, making sure the Beef 2024 crowd have a great time. What's on the program this afternoon? What am I going to see?
Temptation Alley is where you have random treats and toys for the dogs. So it's like random lines with mixed toys. And then you have one human holding the dogs, and then you have the other human that's calling the dogs.
Hey, the dogs don't always listen though, do they?
Yeah, they some of the times they will, but not all the time.
Lincoln, you've got to tell me about Matilda's personality. She is rogue.
Yeah, she is. She's a little character.
She sure is.
She's one of a kind.
She's eaten a fair amount of the floral display here as well. Hey, Farmer Dave, before I let you go anywhere today, I want to recognise the wonderful work you do to help these great young humans evolve into the adults that are going to change the world. But you're so famous for a lot of things, and one of those things in the last few years has been your luscious locks. You're going to let them go. I'm devastated.
Yes. So we measured it the other day, and
Show
it's
us. Pull
80
it out. Come on.
centimetres. It's 80 centimetres long. So the reason I've been growing it for a while is I do a lot of MC gigs, and I was MCing the Gold Ribbon Ball down in Sydney for kids with cancer. And it was the hardest gig I've ever done because, you know, you're hearing stories of parents and children, or parents that have lost children.
Stop it.
And look, I was like, how can I help? And they said, well, you know what, we make wigs for kids. It helps them feel a little less isolated, because the thing we know about kids, right, is that they point out differences really quickly. And if kids bald because they're going through cancer treatment, it can really affect their constant mental health. And so we actually make wigs here in Australia for kids. And so I am chopping all of this off. It's all going. Oops, what have I done? I've put it on the wrong side. There it is. I'm chopping all of this off
80
next
centimetres.
week. Yeah,
Wow.
so hopefully make a few wigs for
How can we
kids.
support you?
Easy. Can go to my Facebook page, Farmer Dave, and then there's a link there, and we're trying to make enough money to do 5 wigs, and it costs about $1,300 because every individual human strand goes in. And look, they can use fake hair, they can use hair from foreign countries.
But imagine saying, I've got Farmer Dave's hair.
Well, I don't know about that, but, you know, it's the same hair of, you know, the kids that are often dealing with cancer, so it can really make them feel less alone and more invisible, because sometimes, you know, like what I do with kids is all make them more visible, put them on stage, but when you're dealing with cancer, sometimes you just want to be you,
Yes.
muck around with the other kids and not be the kid with cancer, and creating wigs for kids that are going through this is a real way of them to be just breathe and be normal and be a kid, because sometimes, and this is the worst thing about Kids with Cancer Foundation, is it's an end-of-life situation, and there is... I'm a dad of 5 kids. There is nothing more incomprehensible than losing a child to cancer. We are so used to, as a society, losing our mums, our grandparents, aunts, uncles. But to lose a child is just something that I can't even get my head around. So it's the one thing that I can do is chop my hair off. And if there's anyone out there that can give $1 or $2, head over to Farmer Dave on the Facebook page, and there's a link there, and you can donate or head straight to Kids with Cancer Foundation, and there'll be links there.
You're an absolute cracker, Farmer Dave, and you're one of the most generous people I've ever met, and a joy to work with you as well. Thanks for bringing Jimmy Choo and Matilda and Lincoln and Joseph. I'm going to come out and watch your performance this afternoon, so turn it on for me. Farmer Dave, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Hey, speaking of great young kids, we're going to